York. I just moved over from Hong Kong not too long ago, and in case you haven't seen it, you can watch my crazy week leading up to my departure from Asia here. I'll also link it in the description box below. P.S. Whilst you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe. A few weeks ago, I flew Asiana Airlines through South Korea for the first time, and I thought I'd show you what the journey was like.
So sleepy, it's unreal. I hope that I will maintain this zonked outness for when I get on the plane, so I can just go, as soon as I open my eyes, I'll arrive. Often what happens is, after all the commotion of moving all the luggage in, I suddenly feel more awake, so we'll see.
The cabin crew were very nice and attentive. The food was pretty good. I was a bit surprised that the entertainment wasn't really that good. Oh well. I've always really wanted to visit South Korea and COVID just didn't let me, but I guess at least I got to be in the airport.
They were just asking us if we were transit passengers, because if you have a boarding pass, you get a free of charge Korean cultural experience. Wait, what do they teach? They teach you how to make the Hangul bracelets and tuho. Also, the way that the light shines through that glass is so pretty. We're at the gate to go to America, and look what's right next to it. I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but I haven't seen this sort of food in a while. I don't think there's Dunkin' Donuts in Hong Kong. I haven't seen it. I didn't catch the eyes.
인천공항에서 좋은 시간 보내셨나요? 저랑 같이 사진 찍고 가세요.
Did you have a good time at Incheon Airport?
네,
안녕하세요.
반가워요. 저는 에어스타예요.
That's all I know how to say.
알려주신 정보로는 찾을 수 없어요. 다시 말씀해 주세요.
Does anyone speak Korean?
Wow, it looks so clean. We made a bet on whether these flowers are real, these orchids, and they're very much real. And they're so pretty. I think I prefer the yellow ones over the purple ones. Maybe it's because I see the purple ones too often. Look how pretty. It reminds me of when I saw them in Singapore. Oh wait, I didn't know they did egg tarts and Dunkin' Donuts. That might just be an Asian thing. An Asia thing. Royal milk tea donut. Yeah, okay, I have not seen that. On a really important mission today, and it's a bit dreary. You can see the weather there, but I am frantically in search of an apartment.
You know what nasty surprise I got after arriving? The rent.
They've become quite expensive in New York City.
I'm no newbie to New York prices, but they were even higher than when I checked them out back in Hong Kong. Literally, the same units were going up in hundreds, and I thought Hong Kong was pricey.
I'm also measuring the walking time between certain locations because it needs to be easily accessible, and of course, most importantly, it needs to be safe. At the moment, the commute time is a little bit too far where I'm living temporarily, and that's not going to work when you've got to commit every day.
The bidding was insane, by the way. The listing would go up, and if there's an open house, it would be gone by the end of the day. Many were even giving in applications blindly, which, by the way, in most cases you have to pay for. In a city that's known for terrible views and noisy, dangerous streets, that's very brave.
There are lots of buildings, big buildings. Well, okay, of course there are lots of buildings. This is New York, what am I talking about? We are in the Hudson Yards area, I think, because there is a market over there if I turn around. It's called Hudson Market. Yeah, so I think that kind of gives away the name. Or maybe it's just because it's next to the Hudson River. I'm I'm not late, I'm on time. There's the Hudson Market, there is some academy here for toddlers. Okay, so it seems like it's a family-friendly area. Family-friendly usually means safer.
People have been asking me about why I decided to leave Hong Kong, and that's a very good question. I'd always wanted to live in Hong Kong because of the cultural mix. The combination of Asian culture mixed in with a twist of British culture was very attractive to me. In the past year or so, there's been a huge exodus of expats and locals seeking to move abroad. It began during the protests, but when the COVID restrictions didn't look like they were going to be improving, more and more people just started to leave. The reasons varied, from things like thinking about the future of your family, to the issues that come with travel restrictions, making it really difficult to go and visit people you know, and also conduct business if it's a global business. For me, it was all of the above with a dash of personal reasons. Continuing with a point about the travel restrictions, a lot of people come to Hong Kong because they see it as a travel hub. They like being able to go to different countries on the weekend, and I really like that aspect of Hong Kong too. And I kept waiting for the restrictions to ease so that I could continue exploring Asia, but it just kinda never happened. My family also lives all over the place, and I want to be able to visit them. Unfortunately, the restrictions made it really difficult to do that, and forking out 5k or more every single time for the travel, plus 14 to 21 days in quarantine, it's tough. For the sort of work that I do, I always knew that there would be more opportunities in places like New York, and when travel was available, that was still okay. However, with the restrictions, that became a bit of an issue. In Hong Kong, there is a language barrier in places like the TV industry because the crew operates in Cantonese, which makes sense. But it doesn't stop the fact that, there will be more opportunities for those who can speak Cantonese. And of course, there's also the political side of it. I'm not going to say too much about this, but the future of the city felt quite uncertain. This wasn't an immediate influencing factor in my decision to leave at this point, because personally, I never really planned to live in Hong Kong long term. And then there's something that seems kind of insignificant in the grander scheme of things, but it actually affects my everyday quality of life quite a lot, and that's my skin. I'd never really had an issue with my skin prior to living in Hong Kong, but it turns out it absolutely hates humidity and heat. And if Hong Kong weather is anything, it is humidity and heat. And yes, you might be thinking, New York also gets humid. It does. And it also gets hot. It does. But it doesn't get as humid or as hot, as often or as long as Hong Kong. After a while, I went to see a dermatologist, and she told me that I had eczema and rosacea, which I'd never heard of before. And the combination of prolonged heat and humidity made my skin flare up in these red, itchy patches all the time. If any of you are interested in my skin journey or what my dermatologist recommended to me, let me know. I'd be more than happy to share. Oh, and the mask didn't help, and working out in a mask didn't help. Although, honestly, I still wear a mask when I'm indoors, in a public setting, or when it's a crowded area, because it feels safer. Having said all of this, I love being in Hong Kong and meeting all the people that I got to meet there. Living there has ticked off one of the things I had on my bucket list, so I am very grateful. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and week. And if you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to share them below. On to the next chapter, New York.